Hello, and welcome back to this new video. Today I'm flying something very different from my usual playstyle, because I'm flying the Vedmak. And the reason for this is, well, there's actually two reasons. One, it's a bit of a special video because I just hit recently the 1000 subscribers. And I'm also doing a second video for that, which is Hyperion PvP, which I'm still working on collecting fights for. And the other reason is because my friend Zach asked me for it. He's also a YouTuber, you probably all know him. And since I started YouTube, he supported me a lot and gave me lots of tips and Ishkur as well to buy the ships that I need to run the videos. And the only thing he ever asked in return was for me to do a Vedmak video. So here I am finally after 6 months of making videos. I finally got around and got all the good fights I needed to finally finish this video I have planned for quite some time. And I had a bit of a rough time getting started in the Vedmak. I couldn't really find a fit that I liked, and it was a bit of a tough start for me in the Vedmak, but eventually fell in love because I really enjoyed flying this ship recently. Now that I found a fit that I really like and that I know a bit better how to fly it, I really like it. And yeah, this is my only Vedmak that survived long enough to get some kill marks, and it actually got 6, as you can see here, and makes me quite proud. And you can believe this ship is not gun docking anymore. I mean, I still have other Vedmaks I can take for PvP, but yeah, I'm gonna show you this fit now. Throughout the video I'm using many different fits. So before each fight I'm gonna talk a bit about what fit I'm using in that specific fight. But sorry, it's a bit of noise outside, I hope you don't hear it. Yeah, as I said, before every fight I talk about the fit a bit more. And yeah, this is the fit I eventually liked the most. And all the other fits were just basically the road to finally arrive at this fit. So yeah, let's take a look. We have the heavy entropic disintegrator, of course, the weapon, a small TAC-2 nude and 2 T2 medium nudes, which saved my bacon quite some times because they're super strong at like pretty good range as well, 50 kilometers. Cap booster, because the cap is really the biggest downside of this ship. MWD, Jet Garista Warp Disruptor, and Jet Garista Stasis Web. Because I am a Garista, I can buy these modules for quite a lot less than what you would pay in Jita for them, so why not put the extra bling on? It's not that much, like 40 mil, yeah, 50 mil for the web, 40 mil for the warp disruptor, that's not that big of a deal. Damage control, 2 multi-spectrum energized membranes, radiation sink, 800 steel plates, an Ancil, 2 rigs for power grid because it's very power grid hungry with Capista MWD and 2 medium nudes plus the plate, like it's really a lot on the power grid, and a nano pump for a bit of extra armor repair rate. I would love to fit a TAC-2 one of these, but you see the calibration is full, so I can't fit one, and I do need the 2 T2 medium Ancil current routers. Potentially I could bling it a bit out, like get a true Sunshine cap booster and a Federation plate, and maybe even Imperial Navy nudes, and that would allow me to take a T1 rig here and a T2 armor rig then. But like this, it's still below 350 mil, that's fine by me. In my cargo hold I have nanites, all the ammo. Actually I'm missing Tachyon, I see right now. Oh wait, Tachyon is loaded and I don't have, no wait, okay, well, there is supposed to be Tachyon in here as well. Caprister 800s, 2 boosters, I just used the Synth Exile and those 2 hard shell. Of course you could use Meta Drugs as well, but again I want to keep it a bit cheaper, so I use those. And then EC drones, and usually I have Valkyries, but I lost those in the last fight, so I have Hammerheads here now, but that doesn't matter too much. As you can see, the starting DPS is quite low with 381, but with the spool it goes up really quickly, and you can end up like 500-600 DPS against cruisers, and that's really nice. And the other great thing about this is 18 kilometers on rolling ammo, and on max range ammo 54 kilometers, which is ridiculous. Like, still almost 300 DPS at 50 kilometers to start with, without the spool, is ridiculous. So that's really good ship, and this is the fit I eventually liked the most. I had some things trying with cap battery instead of cap booster, and triple medium nude I even tried, but all of those lacked a bit of tank, and I'm not really used to flying cruisers because it's frigates on fire. So yeah, I'm not used to the tank on cruisers and how to use it correctly and when to start repping and all of that. And yeah, I think I'm gonna stop yapping in a minute. Just two more things. The first thing is that I definitely did not fly very good in this video. I made lots of mistakes, lots of misplays, just because I'm not used to flying cruisers and because I was very shaky. Like, I had the PvP shakes like crazy flying this ship, just because I'm quite nervous flying a 350mm ship, which is stupid because I fly more expensive ships, or I fly frigates in completely stupid situations and I can stay calm, but as soon as I sit in the Vedmak, I'm a bit nervous. So yeah, this is definitely not my top tier PvP that I do, but I hope you can still enjoy. And the other thing I wanted to say is thank you again to Zach for helping me, for sponsoring me, for giving me all the hints, and for the golden Vedmak skin, because that's why I have this skin. He made it for me in Skinnar and gave me the materials to make it, and that's why I have this beautiful skin. And yeah, let's just look at it again. It looks so good, gold plated. Yeah, with that I think I'm gonna stop yapping now, finally, after quite a long intro, I'm sorry. And yeah, I'd say we get ready to those good fights out. So here we are in the first fight. This is Vedmak vs AFK Vexor, or no wait, he's actually not AFK, he's just chatting. But these were my first experiences with the Vedmak in nullsec, and it was rough, I can tell you that. I made so many jumps and I ran through so many systems to just either get blobbed or don't find anyone to fight, and this Vexor was the first fight I had all day, and I even had to warp off because he had so much damage on the drones, and yeah, but I still got the kill. But the scary thing was, as soon as he died, a Vargar and a Garmer showed up and I just barely managed to warp off. And then this was the next quote-unquote fight I got in nullsec. So yeah, AFK Pacifier on the gate, and I 3-shot him. It was quite funny. But of course these are not the fights I'm looking for, that's just a funny kill mail. But not really a great fight. And the next one, this was a terrible misplay on my part. I thought I could somehow kite the Vagabond, and at this time I did not know yet that the Vagabond is the new Ramjack, because it's so strong. It has crazy DPS, of course, speed of a frigate, and the tank bonus of a Vargar, so it's crazy strong. Vagabond is definitely a really nice ship. And this particular Vagabond was Axel ASB fit, so I still hoped I could nude him out in time, because I'm in a triple nude cap battery fit for this fight. And you see his web drops, he was almost out of cap, but before his scram drops and I can get my MWD on, I die. But if you pay close attention, you saw that my MWD showed as if it were on, even though I was scrammed, so it was even a bit buggy, and I'm not sure if that meant that I was using my MWD or not, and if I could have actually activated it or not. So that's a bit weird. And this next fight is against a Vedmak, so a Vedmak 1v1. And in this fit, well, in this fight I am flying the fit with a 10mm afterburner. That's why I also asked him if he wanted to fight in the SS, because I know I have an advantage in here, which is my afterburner speed. But the unfortunate thing is, as soon as this pilot slid in, he had a disconnect, which was very bad timing for him. And as soon as I realized that he was disconnected because his name disappeared from local, I just kept him at range for a second and not orbiting to get some better replication. And now that he came back, I started orbiting again to maybe avoid some damage. But you can see from the nude numbers he's already nuded out. So he had first thing he did when he came back was activate his cap booster. So I'm in a pretty good spot here. And you see he's already hitting hull, so there's not much he can do. But I think I could have still won this fight, because here's his fit. It is a bit... it is actually kind of similar to mine, but he had active hardeners, so maybe my newts would have shut him off enough to actually win the fight, even though he has more bling and better tank for that reason. So that was my last fight in nullsec, and here I'm back in Lowsec. Usually I don't like punching down, but when this Ishkur slid into the plex before me, it looked to me like he actually wanted to fight me, and when I slid in, it turned out, yeah, he actually did want to fight me, and he hoped he could somehow tank the newts, or he hoped that I didn't have newts. But you see, as soon as he's newted out, I can activate my prop mod, get away from him, and get tracking. But this pellet actually did a really good job. He started defanging me, and to be honest, I would have tried the same thing, see if the Nosferatu is enough to keep the Afterburner running to outjack. I would have definitely tried as well, but yeah, not every brave thing pays off. So yeah, it's completely out of cap now, and it's just a question of a few more shots. But after that we talked a bit about how it is to fly frigates and to punch up, and it was really nice. He was a nice dude and he took it like a man. So yeah, Jeff, bye bye Ishkur. Then this next fight was a bit of a weird one. I slid in on this Cormorant Navy and Atron, not really expecting them to do much to me. And yeah, immediately as I slid in, the Corm Navy warped off, and the Atron tried as well, but I'm not sure what went wrong. But he stayed for a second too long, and I got my Warp Disruptor on him, and I'm doing a lot of damage to him, obviously. See, 2 shots and he's already in half hull, 1 more volley and he's dead. But I think he might have stopped his work to try to tackle me, because his Stratios friend said he was already around, because yeah, the Stratios just landed. And of course I stay on grid and go for the Stratios. Put my drone and Warp Disruptor on him. And I see the hammerheads incoming, and I know that the Stratios has a lot of drone damage. So I'm starting this fight by defanging him. And yeah, I already have Barry unloaded, I think. Don't quote me on it. Which is tracking ammo, but medium range, so I'm actually at a good range to defang his drones. And yeah, here his friends start landing a Hookbill, Slicer, Thrasher fleet, and eventually if the Corm Navy comes back, and you see the Slicer is burning in straight for me. So, oh no wait, I actually have Mason loaded. So yeah, I have Mason ready, and I'm trying to get that on whichever one of these kiting frigates comes close. But you see, before I managed to shoot one of them, the Hookbill puts 2 tracking disruptors on me, which really makes me struggle on range, because the triglavian weapons don't have a fall off. So if I'm out of range, I can't activate my weapon, and it just says, no, you are not allowed to do that. And even though it's just the Slicer and the Hookbill shooting me right now, the Vedmak doesn't have that much tank, and they are, well, slowly getting through me. You see, my range is reduced to 15 kilometers on my maximum range ammo, which is crazy, of course. So I decide to disengage this fight. And you see, I'm trying to warp off, but last second, like literally last second, they warp disrupted me again. And now I just align out and spam the warp button. I did get 2 lucky shots on the Hookbill, so he is hurting quite a bit, and he is a bit hesitant to re-engage, so I managed to get off there. Then this next fight was actually kinda not really solo, because my corporal made Lipka probe them down for me, but the fighting was all solo. And this was actually one of the best fights I had in the Vedmak. Vedmak versus Stabber Fleet, Moa and Thorax. I am immediately going for the Stabber Fleet first, because it's the Minotaur cruiser, so definitely the quickest. After that I would want to go for the Thorax with the second highest speed out of these 3 ships. The Moa is like slow brick. And you see, I'm losing the warp disruptor on the Stabber Fleet here for a second, but I hope that he thinks he can tank me for a bit longer, so I'm just trying to get closer again and hopefully keep the Moa and Thorax behind me while I follow the Stabber Fleet to kill him. But you see, the Stabber Fleet is only slightly slower than I am, so I'm having a bit of trouble to get close to him. I should have definitely used more double clicking here instead of Q clicking, but they pretty much flew in 2 dimensions as well. so I could afford to do that as well. And yeah, you see every now and then I get my heated web on him, because the heated Exequror web has 17 kilometers range if I'm not mistaken, so I can keep my web on him, and then of course I have full range control, and the Moa and the Thorax have struggled keeping up with us with very slow MWD speeds. In this fight I'm also using the Capachi fit, but this time with a reactive. I really tried lots of fits before I finally find something I liked, and I'm shifting Varion into this type of fleet right now because it has, for this fight, the best range to DPS ratio with 33 kilometers range. I got a bit too close for comfort to this type of fleet here, but I got my 3 medium newts on him, so I'm confident that I can slip out of his scram range even if he hadn't scrammed me. But yeah, the first one goes down, and now my focus goes onto the Thorax, because the Moa, as I said before, is so slow that the Thorax now is the biggest danger of tackling me. But I already dragged them out pretty far from each other, so I'm confident that even if the Thorax would tackle me now, I could probably kill or newt it, which explains why I'm getting a bit cocky and a bit close. But yeah, I still have all my tank, and I'm quite confident I can take them now. And they know that as well, because as you can see, the Moa warps off, and now I just have to make sure I don't lose point on the Thorax. I did lose point on the Thorax for a second, but it wasn't enough for him to warp off, and I got that back, so now I can just get close, make a better heat management job, because I almost burnt my web from heat from my MWD. But yeah, now I can just get close and put the web and newts on him as well. Yeah, the Vedmak spool up of course helps in this fight as well, because at this point, even though I'm using not really the highest DPS ammo, I'm probably already on like 500, 600, 700 DPS, which is crazy. And yeah, I get 2 out of 3 kills, which is for me pretty good. And then I just pulled off the Step Fleet issue after the GF in local, and in a second I'm going to show you the kill man. After I'm editing, yeah, there you go. That's the Step Fleet fit. Bit of an unusual Step Fleet. Maybe if he had an Ansel as well, he would have tanked me more. And the Thorax, which is actually the fit you should have put on the Step Fleet issue. But yeah, GF to those guys. This next fight is a bit of a sad one, because I hoped it would be a good fight, but it wasn't really. I worked to this Plex at 50 or 30, I think, to get these 2 Catalyst Navies, and I know Catalyst Navies can be really rough for me because they are so fast and have crazy DPS. So I hope they would ram me and try to tackle me, but one warps off and the other one I can easily control with the web. I hoped it would be a hard fight, because I can only control one of them with the web at a time, and then the other might be able to tackle me. But like this, it's just kite like in the books. I fly away from him, he follows me in a straight line. Easy. Now I just have to wait for my quite high DPS to kill him. I'm flying a bit of an angle towards him now again to maybe get my web on him and have my newts take more effect on him. In fact, when I get a bit closer. So I'm actually doing a reverse tethering, you could say. Feathering, not tethering. That's a different thing. But it doesn't matter anymore, and yeah, he dies. If the second one would have stayed, it would have been a much harder fight, but yeah, like this was quite easy. And this next fight is actually taken from a live stream where I flew the Vedmak, so I apologize for the quality, it is a bit worse, and also the sound is missing because I cut off my own voiceover I had before because it wasn't that good. I was quite stressed in the fight. But yeah, I'm fighting 4 Caracals, 2 of which are Navy, and luckily for me they are using heavy assault missiles, so I can kind of stay out of their range, and they also struggle a bit with application, because heavy assault missiles struggle with application, that's a fact. So I'm just starting with one of the T1 Caracals, the one that is closest to me, managing my heat on the web to every time when it gets a bit too close, I put the web on it again. You see I'm doing large chunks of damage to his shield, it's not really tanking that well, and they're also not doing that much damage to me. I think this fit is actually triple medium newt, but with a cap booster instead of cap battery, and dual damage mods instead of dual energized membrane. So yeah, the piloting doesn't really change depending on the fit, except for the ESS fit with the afterburner instead of a warp disruptor, with the honor point. Of course, it's a bit of a different story. But yeah, the first Caracal goes down, and now I have to look for the second Caracal, and at this time I didn't realize that there was a Caracal this close to me, otherwise I would have freaked out. But yeah, now I can just look for the ideal target, and while I'm doing that I can defang some of these warriors that are still doing damage to me. I have the choice now between going in a circle to hopefully get the back Caracal that has less tank, or commit to the Caracal navies with a lot more tank, which then of course puts me in the risk of them getting reinforcements and more pilots in. But for now I'm just finishing off some of their drones, reduce the damage that's incoming on me. And yeah, I decide to circle around and go for the back tier 1 Caracal. You can also see that I'm struggling a bit with all the module management, and I was out of cap there for a second, but it didn't matter because I was far enough away from everything. And I had a lot of lag in that fight, so I was a bit scared. But yeah, now I'm in range to put damage on the second Caracal, and just like the first Caracal, it's taking a lot of damage from this, and I think they were quite high DPS fits and not so focused on tank, because they were running supply depots all around the war, so I had followed them for 3-4 jumps before I finally caught them here. But I think he was even a multi-boxer, flying the 4 Caracals at once. But anyway, the pilots did a good job, because the T1 Caracal is now kind of hiding behind the Caracal navies, forcing me to either swap ammo to keep shooting the T1 Caracal, or switch to one of the Navy Caracals, which are now also soon to be in range of their heavy assault missiles again. But due to my very much higher speed, I managed to circle around and keep my gun running on the Caracal so I don't lose spool. I was thinking there for a second, maybe I should tackle one of the Caracal navies, get a higher value kill. Then I decided to just stick with the Caracal, secure the kill I got, and not be greedy for another one. Yeah, so I'm just finishing off the T1 Caracal while both the Caracal navy warps off. While both the Caracal navies warp off. Grammar and stuff. So, yeah, now I kill the second Caracal, he goes down, and I start cleaning the field. Now the NPCs start hitting me, so I'm warping off. But there you can see they were both T1 heavy assault missile fit, so it was quite easy. But I think the Caracal navies were T2 fit. It doesn't really matter. Because here we are in the next fight, and this was my first of 2 bad warp-ins I had in this Vedmak. I land on 0 on this Hurricane, which is bad, to say the least. I panicked a bit, I put my newts on him to hopefully newt him out, but in this specific fit I am dual small newt with only 1 medium newt, so my newt power is a lot weaker, and the Hurricane is dealing large chunks of damage to me. I am still trying to get away, and hopefully activate my afterburner, my MWD, sorry, as soon as he's out of cap. And maybe tank him until then, but you see he's taking large chunks of my armor with every hit. I am slowly pulling range from him, but yeah, I'm going towards Hull. He's also going towards Hull actually, but I think he was kind of Hull tanked. No tanked, Hull tanked. In the last second you saw I had him finally neuted out, and he lost weapon scram, but it unfortunately wasn't enough, and I died to that Hurricane. And yeah, here we are in the next fight against Alexander Cardio, who is a really good Galant pilot. And as soon as he saw me on range, he warped off again. And yeah, here I thought he would think I would warp to 100, so he would warp to 100 to catch me. So I thought, oh, I'm double smart and I'm warping to 70. And yeah, I'm just gonna let this play out for a second. Warping, confident, happy. Ha! I double bluffed him, I know exactly where he's landing, I have the right ammo loaded, if my correct modules preheated, I'm not gonna be nervous. Oh no, I'm panicking! He's at 0. He warped to 70, just like me. I tried to pull range immediately, activate my MWD, but he got scram on me. And now I can just hope to newt him out. With my first burst of MWD speed, I got quite far away from him, but he is MWD fit of course as well, and I don't have a scram to deactivate his MWD, so he can fully control my... well, he can fully range control me now. And I can just hope for my newts to do something, but you see blasted damage at 0, it hurts so much. Like, it's chunking my armor in huge things. But now he's needed that, he loses his scram. I get my MWD off for a second, but he immediately gets scram again. But one thing is good, I'm needing him so much and he can't use his own MWD, so he can't get close to me. And yeah, now I needed myself out. I kept myself out by using my newts. So even though he lost scram, I couldn't activate my MWD. I immediately put my newts on him again. He loses swap and gets it back again. I was so nervous, but you can see my tank is slowly starting to get better now because he can only shoot every now and then because he's struggling with cap so much. I pop my cap booster and my MWD, get a bit further away from him again, and this time I actually managed to drift out far enough to be outside of his scram range, and I can activate my MWD once again, and now I'm finally more or less out of his scram range. My keypad range was set incorrectly in this fight, and I'm also so nervous that I didn't realize I wasn't shooting because of cap. And I shoot through so many cap boosters in this fight, it's crazy. My answer was an auto reload. I made so many mistakes, but I managed to get at range, and now I finally realized, oh, I'm so close to him because my keypad range is incorrect. And here's the last mistake of the fight. Residual heat from my web burned out my warp disruptor. So now I know, yeah, there's nothing more I can do, because even if I get him low, he can just warp off. And his friends are landing as well right now, so I'm just putting range from him and knowing, yeah, that's it, lost the fight. But I'm happy that I survived an encounter with an ENI at 0. That's really quite good. I was thinking here for a second to go for the Cat Navy, but before I could decide to do that, he turned around and Alexander Caldier warped off in his ENI. So yeah, it's not... I mean, I'm happy I survived, so yeah, that's alright. This next fight is against another crazy good pilot, Amanda Strybird, who was actually the top 1 solo pilot last month, I think. So I was really nervous in this fight. You see me writing in local time to die. I really expected to die in this fight. And I'm again not flying very well in this fight. I have my MWD heated from the start, trying to fly in such an angle that I can get my web and newts on him, because I know the Omen Navy will struggle with cap if I get my medium newts on it. And by the way, here I'm flying also the fit that I showcased in the intro. I finally found this fit and I settled on it. And yeah, I start flying away from him for a second, kind of slingshot him. He has to swap ammo, and now I can turn around full speed, hopefully get him into web range. I know the Omen Navy issue doesn't have a web because he's cap booster, MWD, warp disruptor fit. That's the only logical way you can fit a kite Omen Navy. So I know if I get the web on him, I have range control. I was thinking it there for a second to warp off. I even tried, but he got the warp disruptor on me. Didn't realize I was out of cap, put the cap booster, and put the weapon on again, so I lost my spool, which was really kind of bad. And I'm still struggling with tanking and module management all at once. I did lose web for a second, but I got it back now. But he drifts out of my range again. This is the lack of agility on cruisers that screwed me over here that I'm not used to. Now I start lining out, panicking, just trying to get off, because I also see the Stab of Fleet issue on D-scan. And I'm fully expected to die here. But he tries to burn not straight into me, but kind of an angle, which actually makes him have less relative speed than me, so I can kind of keep my range from him, and he's not really getting closer to me, but he's also not losing warp disruptor, even though I'm at 32 kilometers, and this tells me that he probably has a good warp disruptor like Bling or Abyssalt, so that makes me want to kill him even more. And as you can see now, for the very first time in all of these fights, I realized that I have drugs, and I pop them when I have no nanites left in my armor wrapper. So yeah, as I said in the intro, I made lots of misplays. But now I saw, like, wait, what? He's actually dying? And I get the kill. I was so shocked, like, wow, I killed him, I did it. That I, for a second there, thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't warp off. But then I saw the Stab of Fleet issue charging me full speed, and I just warp off. And yeah, I was so checking so much after that fight, it's crazy. And yeah, here's the warp disruptor. It was actually a 27 kilometer abyssalized Warp Disruptor, and I sold it back to him. Had a nice chat afterwards, so yeah, GF mate. And then this final fight is against Nate Urita again in the Rupture, which is actually getting a buff soon, I think. So yeah, I slid in on her, and she gets a scram on me, which is super scary. But luckily, I managed to drift out of scram range, and this Rupture was fit with an afterburner and not an MWD, so it wasn't able to keep up with me, and now I'm at my perfect range, and I can just blast Baryon into the shields of the Rupture. It is shield grabbing quite a lot, so that tells me that it's probably extra large Ancil or normal large Ancil fit. But yeah, I was pretty confident because this fight was after the fight against Alexander Cardew in the ENI, and if I can nude out an ENI, I'm also sure that I can nude out the Rupture to pull range from it. And the Rupture doesn't have that much damage, so I'm pretty confidently tanking him now. And yeah, now I just have to make sure I don't lose Warp Disruptor for some stupid reason, and I shouldn't burn anything out. But yeah, he dies. And yeah, I sent in local Brave because that was a really brave fight to take, and yeah, respect to that dude, because yeah, good job. I'm not sure if I would have tried that fight in the Rupture, but yeah. So that's all the fights I had in the Vedmak. As I said in the start, I had some starting issues with the Vedmak. I didn't really like it from the start, but once I found the fit I liked, it started being really fun. And yeah, thanks again to Zach for helping me so much with the YouTube channel and everything, and also for the nice Vedmak skin so I can fly around in style. And yeah, I think I'm going to end the video with that. Hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions or ideas or concerns, put them in the comments. If you have complaints, you can put them in the comments as well, but yeah, I know I didn't fly good in this video, you don't have to tell me. I guess all the professional Vedmak pilots and cruiser kiters had to shut this video off before they reached this point because they couldn't watch me playing that. But for me it's an improvement from flying brawling frigates to learning how to cruiser kite, because in my opinion that's both the most difficult things in the game, cruiser kiting and frigate brawling. Because frigate brawling is hard because you have so... well, you barely have any reaction time to make your decisions, and especially punching up in frigates is, well, one of my favorite things to do, as you can see when you check the punching up videos in my channel. I really like doing that. And cruiser kiting is hard because you have to be aware of the smaller, faster things, and you have to be aware of the bigger, DPS heavy things that have more range. So in my opinion those are the most difficult playstyles in EVE, so I'm quite happy I'm now learning slowly how to kite in a cruise correctly. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now and wish you a good day, and see you around. Bye bye.